viscous flow region is defined as a flow in which the frictional effects are significant. It is near to the solid surface. Inviscid flow region is the flow where frictional effect can be ignored. It is far away from the solid surface. Viscosity is defined as a property that represents the internal resistance of a fluid. It also corresponds to the informal concept of thickness. For example, we know that oil is thicker than water. Therefore, oil has a higher viscosity than water. Referring to the diagram shown above, we can see that the fluid sticks to the plate on both sides due to the no-slip condition. The viscous effects are significant near the plate surface is the viscous flow region. Then, both sides away from the plate and are affected by the plate is where the inviscid flow region located. Therefore, we can conclude that viscosity plays an important role in viscous flow, but it is negligible in inviscid flow.
Internal flow occurs in a pipe or a duct if the fluid is completely bounded by the solid surface. Pressure or gravitational force is used to move the fluid and overcome the viscous shear force or friction offered by the solid surface. Moreover, it is dominated by its viscosity. External flow defined as the flow of an unbounded fluid over a surface such as a plate, a wire, or a pipe. The viscous effects are limited to boundary layers in the solid surface. However, if the duct or the pipe is partially filled, there is the free surface. Therefore, it is called an open channel flow.
Generally, gases are called compressible fluid. To name a particle fluid compressible, it should show a considerable change of density when a pressure or force is applied. Liquid are called incompressible fluid. The volume or the density of the liquid will not change easily when a pressure is applied on it. Marsh number. It is the ratio between the velocity of flow and the speed of sound.
Laminar versus turbulent flow. Laminar flow is a highly ordered fluid motion characterized by smooth layer of solid. It is also referred to as a streamline or viscous flow. This is because the layer of water flowing over one another at different speed, with virtually no mixing between layers in laminar flow. The fluid particle move in defined and observable paths where the paths of the individual particle not cross each other. The flow of high viscosity fluid such as oil at low velocity is typically laminar.
Turbulent flow is a highly disordered fluid motion that typically occurs at high velocities. It is characterized by velocity fluctuations. There's no definite frequency as it is in wave motion, thus the fluid particles traverse in irregular path with no observable pattern and the path of the individual particles cross each other. In addition, the flow that alternates between being laminar and turbulent is called transition flow. The dimensionless number is the key parameter that determines the type of flow.
The fifth classification of fluid flows is natural versus forced flow. Natural flow is the fluid motion caused by natural means such as buoyancy effect. Warmer fluid tends to rise while cooler tends to fall. The heat required to compensate for the heat losses is created by density gradients and elevation change. For instance, seawater. On the other hand, forced flow means that fluid is forced to flow over a surface or in a pipe by external means such as a pump or a fan. Heat loss is commonly compensated for in piping system by pumps that do work on the fluid, compensating for the heat loss due to friction. For example, water pump makes water flow in higher speed.
Steady versus unsteady flow. Steady flow states that the properties of fluid remain constant with respect to time. Properties of fluid can change from point to point within a device but remaining constant at any fixed point. Velocity, pressure, density, temperature and flow rate remain uniform with location over a specific region. For example, turbines and condensers. Unsteady flow states that the properties of fluid changes with respect to time. It is the opposite of steady flow. The flow is unsteady to start with, but becomes steady with time. For instance, water flow out of a tap which has just been opened.
The seventh and also the last classification of fluid flow is 1, 2, and 3. three-dimensional flows. Fluid flow is three-dimensional in nature. Flow parameters like velocity and pressure are in the three coordinate direction. For the one-dimensional flow, all the flow parameters may be expressed as function of time and one space coordinate only. The fluid flows in one direction, either in X or Y or Z direction. The flow in a pipe is considered one-dimensional. In reality, flow is never one-dimensional due to viscosity. In two-dimensional flow, all the flow parameters are function of time and two space coordinate. The fluid flow in two combined direction and there is no variation in Z direction. The same straight line pattern are found in all planes perpendicular to Z direction at any instant, and the velocity at any location depends not only upon the radial distance but also on the X distance. Lastly, three-dimensional flow. The hydrodynamic parameters are function of free space coordinate and time. A uniform flow is one where the velocity and other properties are constant independent of direction. The example of uniform flow is the entrance to a pipe far away from an orifice or a car.
Hey, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Much appreciated as it does help a lot for our assignments marks. Thanks for watching.